So the first one that I have got today is... Da-da-da-da. Yes, this is a beautiful picture and it is in by Alice Eastwood, and she was so excited about this wonderful picture that look, she's even put her name right across the front, rightly proud. And I think that she is actually watching just now. So hello Alice, good to see you here. And we have of course two magnificent glue stick characters, and they're walking under an umbrella in the spring. Under a rainbow in the spring, not under an umbrella. So that is the first one. The second one, oh my goodness, this has come from Taji, and Taji is Robin's daughter, and she lives in Sydney in Australia. So I don't know you, Taji, but hello, and thank you very much for sending this beautiful picture. And it is a chick being born. Oh, now we've normally had two pictures in our stories, but today, because we've had so many, we're going to have three. And this one is a fearsome dragon, and it has been sent in by Marcus and by Callum, and Callum is in P12 right here in Edinburgh. So look at this, the flames coming out of his mouth. Oh! So we are going to have a story with these three pictures. Now, unfortunately, I don't have three hands, so I'm just going to have to play with them a little bit. So I'm going to start off with the glue stick characters. So once upon a time, there were two wonderful friends. They loved each other and they did absolutely everything together. And there was something very special about them because they were glue sticks. They were made of glue. And this allowed them to do all sorts of things that us boring humans couldn't possibly do. And one day, it was the middle of spring, a wonderful day just like today has been right here in Edinburgh, and they decided to go for a little walk. And so off they went, walking, and there was a magnificent rainbow right above their heads. And as they were walking, they were talking and singing and telling each other jokes and having a lovely time, when suddenly they heard something. And they thought, what on earth is that sound? So they started to look around and see if they could find where the sound was coming from. And suddenly, under a little tree, they saw an egg. Yeah, and the egg, it was shaking and trembling. And then suddenly, it cracked. And there was a little chick. And the chick blinked its eyes and it looked around. And my goodness, the glue stick characters, well, they couldn't believe their eyes. They had never seen such a brand new baby chick before. And they were so excited. They went over to the chick and, oh, hello, wonderful little tiny chick. Aren't you cute? Aren't you fluffy? And the chick loved all this attention. And as they were busy enjoying themselves and praising the little chick, oh, they got so excited that they decided to dance. And they were dancing and shaking and having a wonderful time, when suddenly they both bent over at the same time and their heads stuck together. It was awful. Imagine the two glue sticks. Oh, and they pulled to the right and they couldn't get free, and they pulled to the left and they couldn't get free. They took out their little hands and they pushed against each other. And what do you think happened to their hands? They got stuck too. And they said, oh no, we have to free ourselves. So they got their feet and they kicked against each other. And what do you think happened to their feet? Yes, they got stuck against each other. So their heads and their hands and their feet were stuck, and they wriggled, and no matter how much they tried, they could not get free. And the little chick, oh well, the chick was quite frantic. Oh no, how am I going to help? How am I going to help? But she was just a tiny little chick. And she looked around and she didn't know how the world worked. And so she started to call for help. Help! Is there anybody here who can help? There are two glue sticks stuck together and I don't know what to do. And I'm not touching them because my feathers will get stuck too. Now, luckily for her, high above the sky, above that rainbow, there was a dragon flying across the sky. And he heard the cries of the little chick, and he flew down to take a look. and he saw the two glue sticks stuck to each other, and they were trying to shake and wriggle. And when they saw the dragon, wah! They were terrified. A dragon! A dragon! Now we're going to be eaten by a dragon! But the dragon, even though the dragon was big, and even though the dragon probably looked quite frightening because of his scales and his claws and his great big teeth, he spoke to the glue sticks and he said, "No, actually, I am here to help." And he very, very gently blew some gentle, warm flames over the glue sticks. And the glue sticks, well, what do you think happened? The legs began to melt and they separated from each other. The hands began to melt and they separated from each other. And then they started to heave and pull their heads apart, and they were free. And my goodness, they said, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, dragon." And the little chick, was jumping around and dancing with excitement. And do you know, these four characters, well, they remained the very, very best of friends forever and ever. And that little chick grew up into a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful bird. And sometimes if you go outside and if you listen very carefully, you might just hear that little bird singing and tweeting and chirping away in the trees. So that is my story for you today, with a lot of thanks to Taji from Sydney, to Alice, who is down in Yorkshire, and of course to Callum, who is